Seoul, South Korea. Yoongi and YN are spending a relaxing evening curled up in bed. Yoongi felt a warmth spread through him, a silent symphony of emotions stirred by the simple act of YN holding his hands. Her touch was a comforting weight on his, her fingers tracing gentle patterns on his skin. He found himself captivated by the feeling, a sense of peace settling over him that chased away the usual chill he carried. He wasn't used to this easy affection, this quiet display of love. Yet, with YN, it felt as natural as breathing. Her touch was a balm on his weary soul, a reminder that he was loved, cherished, adored. He looked at their hands, his rough and worn from years of nervous picking and biting his nails, hers soft and delicate. They were a study in contrast, yet they fit together perfectly, like two pieces of a puzzle meant to be. Yoongi felt a vulnerability he seldom allowed himself to feel. And for the first time, it didn't scare him. It felt right. YN adored his hands. They were a roadmap of his life. Each callus, each scar, telling a story of dedication and passion. She traced the lines on his palm.
"Your hands are amazing," she murmured, her voice filled with awe. "They create such beautiful music. They do other things too, especially when we're alone, Yoongi."
Yoongi chuckled, a rare sound that sent shivers down her spine. "They're just hands, YN."
"They're your hands," she countered, her eyes sparkling with love. "And they're perfect."
He tried to deflect her praise, brushing it off with a joke, but her words, spoken with such sincerity, chipped away at the walls he had built around his heart. YN had a way of seeing past his gruff exterior, of recognizing the vulnerability he tried so hard to hide. And in her eyes, he saw not judgment, but acceptance. He wasn't used to compliments. He deflected them, downplayed them, refused to acknowledge their truth. But YN's words, spoken with such heartfelt admiration, found a way past his defenses. Her words were a whispered truth he'd long forgotten. They resonated deep within him, awakening a longing he thought he'd buried long ago, a longing for acceptance, for love, for someone to see him, truly see him, and love him still.
He turned to her, his gaze intense, his expression unreadable. "You make me sound like some kind of artist or special. I'm definitely not special, and barely a writer and composer."
"You are an artist," she insisted, her voice soft yet firm. "You pour your heart and soul into your music, Yoongi. It's beautiful."
He didn't reply, but the slight softening of his features, his eyes glancing down, and the shy way he smirked, the way his hand tightened around hers, spoke volumes. The silence stretched between them, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was a comfortable silence, filled with unspoken words and shared emotions.
I found myself leaning closer to YN, drawn to her warmth like a moth to a flame. I rested my forehead against hers, my eyes closed as I inhaled her sweet scent.
He'd spent so long building walls, protecting his heart from the world. The rigorous music industry had taken its toll. But with YN, he felt safe enough to let them crumble. Her love was a safe haven, a place where he could be himself, flaws and all.
In that moment of quiet intimacy, I realized just how deeply I'd fallen for her.
Their fingers remained intertwined. Their love wasn't loud or boisterous, but quiet and profound. A slow burn that warmed them from the inside out, secretive and hidden.
It was in the way I looked at him, my eyes filled with unwavering affection. It was in the way I held his hand, my touch a silent promise of love and support.
It was a love that transcended words.
And as I sat there, my hand clasped tightly in YN's, I knew I was exactly where I was meant to be, forever.